برخی از اعضای جامعه ایرانیان حاضر در ایالت ویکتوریا برنامه پذیرایی از وزیر سایه ایمیگریشن و چند تن از اعضای پارلمان استرالیا را در نظر گرفتند. همونطور که می‌دونین به زودی انتخابات استرالیا را در پیش رو خواهیم داشت. نتیجه این انتخابات چه خواهد شد؟ همه منتظر نتیجه این انتخابات این میتینگ انتخاباتی در حمایت از آقای پیتر خلیل از ویلز در ایالت ویکتوریا صورت میگیره. شما به عنوان کسی که در انتخابات شرکت میکنین چه انتظاراتی از نماینده منتخب خودتون دارید؟
سلام خدمت همه هموطنانمون. در درجه اول همون چیزی که سالها دیدم که مردمی که به عنوان پناهنده به این کشور مهاجرت کردن به شرایطشون رسیدگی بشه و هر چه زودتر بتونن ویزای اقامت دائمشون رو بگیرن تا بتونن از اون امکاناتی که بقیه شهروندان و ساکنین استرالیا دارن بهره مند بشن.
ما انتظار اینو داریم که نسبت به جامعه مهاجرین و حالا به خصوص پناهجویان یه دید بهتری داشته باشن و از اون پتانسیلی که در این جامعه هست بهتر استفاده کنن. یه مقداری شرایط برای رشد جوامع مهاجر و بالاخص پناهجوها ضعیفه و ما نمیتونیم به قول معروف تدریس بکنیم، نمیتونیم کار اون بیزینسی که دوست داریم رو انجام بدیم. یه مقدار شرایط و مقدمات کارهای اداری رو برای ما راحت‌تر بکنن که بتونیم اون وجودمون، اون پتانسیلی که درمون هست به جامعه استرالیا ارائه بدیم و بتونیم باعث پیشرفت جامعه استرالیا بشیم.
به نظر شما شرکت ایرانیان در میتینگ‌های انتخاباتی و برنامه‌های این چنینی تا چه حد میتونه مؤثر باشه؟
به نظر من با هرچه نزدیکتر شدن به قانونگذاران دولت استرالیا میتونیم بیشتر دردامون رو بهشون بگیم و مسائل و مشکلات رو و بیشتر با کامیونیتی ما آشنا خواهند شد و در آینده میتونه تاثیر بذاره رو قانونگذاری که دارن.
چه انتظاراتی از دولت منتخب آتی داری؟
به نظر من باید همه رو یکسان ببینن و به درد و مشکلات همه توجه بکنن و آسایش رو برای همه فراهم بکنن.
اینا کار خوبی کردن، جلو قایقو گرفتن. حداقل تکلیف این بنده خدا بچه‌هایی که اومدن چون الان خلاص 7 سال 8 سال جلو قایقو گرفتن، حداقل تکلیف این بنده خدا رو روشن کنن. مثل خود من الان 9 سال بچه‌مو ندیدم.
در اولویت اینه که تکلیف همه پناهنده هایی که اومدن ویزاهای موقت دارن روشن بشه. سلامت باشید.
کسی دیگه؟ بتیا خانم. بتیا جون، من میدونم شما بسیار فعال هستین در جامعه ایرانیان. از دولت آتی استرالیا چه انتظاراتی دارید؟
بنده انتظاری که از دولت آتی دارم اینه که انقدر فرق قائل نشن بین پناهنده ها. هیچ فرقی بین پناهنده‌ای که از مانوس و نارو اومده و پناهنده‌ای که بریجینگ ویزا داره یا پناهنده‌ای که شو و پروتکشن گرفته نیست و اگرم فرقی باشه فرقیه که اونا بیشتر زجر کشیدن و انتظار من اینه که حرف ما رو بشنون و ویو ما رو ببینن و توی تمام دیسیژن‌های جدیدشون بخوان ما رو در نظر بگیرن و این نباشه که فقط یه دیسیژن صادر کنن به خاطر اینکه حالا یه کاری کرده باشن.
به نظر شما برگزاری میتینگ‌های انتخاباتی این چنینی و شرکت ایرانیان در یه همچین برنامه‌ای تا چه حد میتونه مؤثر باشه؟
بله، این موضوع خیلی مهمه و خیلی از آدما فکر میکنن که تاثیر نداره، ولی واقعا تو این کشور با توجه به فعالیتایی که من تا الان داشتم میدونم که خیلی چیزا میتونه مؤثر باشه. مثلا یه سری تظاهراتی که بوده ما دیدیم که 2 روز قبل از اون تظاهرات کسایی که توی پارک هتل بودن اونا رو آزاد کردن و دلیلش این بود که دولت استرالیا نمیخواسته که همچین چیزی خیلی پابلیسایز بشه. واسه همین ما باید خودمون رو نشون بدیم. اگر ناراحتیم باید ناراحتیمون رو نشون بدیم. از قدیم گفتم بچه‌ای که گریه نمیکنه رو به شیشه شیر نمیدن.
ممنون.
خرج کنیم.
حدود 10 سال اینجاییم و تکلیفمون هنوز روشن نیست و خیلی از ما هستیم که بچه‌هامون اینجا به دنیا اومدن، 2 تا یا 3 تا بچه اینجا داریم و اینجا مدرسه رفتن، اینجا بزرگ شدن، با فرهنگ اینجا هستن. خودمونم که خانواده‌ای که ایران رو ترک کردیم کسایی هستیم که پناهجو واقعی هستیم، چون دیگه بعد از 10 سال اگه کسی می‌خواسته برگرده کشورش و این امنیت رو داشته حتما برمیگشته. حالا به هر عنوانی که خارج شده، چه قومیتی بوده، چه مذهبی بوده، چه مسئله سیاسی بوده، بعد از 10 سال ما هیچ کدوممون جای تو کشورمون نداریم، تو وطنمون، تو زادگاهمون نداریم، راه برگشتی نداریم و اینجا هم سردرگم ما رو گذاشتن. متاسفانه این که انتظار من این هستش که امیدوارم خداوند به دولت مردای آینده و همچنین اینایی که هستن بصیرتی بده که بتونن یه تصمیم عاقلانه و یه تصمیم خیلی خوبی راجع به ما بگن، یه تصمیم بشردوستانه بگیرن. چون نمیخوام طولانی بشه صحبت، چون خیلی از کسایی هست که من میشناسم اینجا حضور ندارن ولی خودشون اینجا هستن، ولی زن و بچهشون تو ایرانه یا شوهرشون و بچه‌هاشون تو ایرانه، بعد 10 ساله که نتونستن خانواده‌شون رو ببینن، حتی این ویزای 3 ساله یا نمیدونم 5 ساله هم بهشون ندادن، حتی توان این که بتونن برن دخترشون رو ببینن. وقتی که اومدن پسرشون، من خودم دیدم یه دونشون رو تصویری صحبت میکرد، اصلا یه حال خیلی منقلب شدن. پسرش وقتی که اومده بوده 8 سالش بوده، الان 18 سالشه، 19 سالشه و یه مرد کامله و این هنوز نمیتونه، این پدر هنوز نمیتونه بچه‌شو ببینه. امیدوارم که خداوند لطف کنه و این بصیرت رو بهشون بده که بتونن به ما کمک کنن و یه اقدام بشردوستانه برای ما انجام بدن.
And solidarity with asylum seekers in Australia. I'd like to officially welcome you all and thank you for being here tonight for our community conversation. Before we begin, we'd like to start with the Australian National Anthem. We've got a couple of community members that have prepared this for tonight.
And yet, here we are tonight discussing what should have just been handed to us.
We Iranian women seek asylum to this country with hope of being treated fairly. Chances to grow in life for people in my age are very much limited compared to the other age levels. We have to work harder to compensate our lost chances. We have to be deprived from many chances in our life. In 2018, I was accepted as one of the biggest cooking competition in Australia, MKR. But because of the level of my visa, I was deprived from following this chance.
I am a third year law student at Victoria University. I came here when I was 14, and now I am 24. And still to this date, I don't have a clear vision of my future in Australia. Today is a remarkable and progressive day for the asylum seeker and refugee community. There is something we all have in common, and that is the feeling of frustration from the cruel policies that are the past our country at the moment. It has been 9 years now since the last boat arrival. Why the government choose to keep us in limbo? It feels like we are being punished for seeking asylum. The current government is very biased towards us. The refusal rate of IAA is at 94%.
Australia's first migration minister after Cornwall. The purpose of that was to grow this country's population.
Go at me and said, oh, well, I go to all the protests for refugees and I don't see you there on a Friday night. And my response was, oh, fair enough. But you know what I was doing on Friday night at about 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Saturday morning? I was on the phone to refugees. People like Amir. I I was on the phone to asylum seekers and their families. And I was trying, even from opposition, to get a real result for you. It's frustrating, but with people like Christina Keneally, who immediately responded when it came to Amir's case, and her whole office, and thank you to Jesse and the whole team, who responded and understood the gravity of the situation. That commitment means something, not the song and dance and protesting with a megaphone, a real result. And we've done that for hundreds and hundreds of families, tried to change their visa situation. I have to suck it up and go up to the Liberal minister and beg and plead and make a case by case by case. You know what I really, really want? After the 21st of May, that I can go and visit Christina in her office and she'll give me a cup of tea and I don't have to beg anymore and we can have a real talk about those things.
I know one of the biggest challenges is the temporary protection visa. The unnecessary requirement for every 3 or 5 years to resubmit your case for protection. You've been determined to be refugees. And as I often like to remind the media, by a Liberal government, no less. Why do we ask you to prove every 3 or 5 years you are still in need of protection? It's an unnecessary and costly bureaucratic process that produces no good end. Temporary protection visa holders have been living in Australia for more than 10 years. They work, you pay taxes, you employ Australians, you're part of the community. We should just let you get on with your lives. So, an Albanese Labor government will convert temporary protection visas to permanent protection visas.
Asylum seekers and refugees in the community. In case the Labour Party wins the election, what's your plan for them?
Yes, we will convert temporary protection visa holders to permanent protection visa holders. Let people get on with their lives. They've been living here for more than 10 years. They work, pay taxes, they run businesses in the community, employ other Australians. We should just have them get on with their lives and ensure that we've focused the Department of Home Affairs on the areas where really we need to be focusing on processing partner visas, citizenship applications, and skilled visa holders. It is a waste of time and money by the Department of Home Affairs to be continually asking people who've already been determined to be refugees to prove it every 3 or 5 years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we all know the Iranian community are very much fan of you, and they always support you, and you're their favorite member of the parliament. What's your plan in case that the Labour Party wins the election?
Well, we have a lot of good policies on refugee policy and asylum seeker policy. If we are elected, we're going to end detention, indefinite detention on Manus and Nauru. We're going to double the refugee intake, so another 14,000 places. We're going to have 5,000 on a community sponsorship program, so another 5,000 places. And most importantly, we're going to get rid of TPVs, temporary protection visas, and all of those community members, particularly Iranian community members who are on the temporary protection visas, can finally settle towards permanent settlement in Australia, permanent residency and citizenship.
Have you noticed that the most common and popular member of the parliament among Iranian?
Who's the most popular?
You.
Well, that's very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But really, it's a great privilege to represent the Iranian Australian community because they're such a great community. So giving and caring for others, helping the community, their own community, but also more broadly, a well-educated community with so much talent and so much potential to contribute back to Australia. That's why I'm honoured to actually represent the Iranian community.
Thank you
very much.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much.
What's your plan about the people who have been seeking asylum in this country and have been living in limbo, unclear situation for 10 years?
Well, having heard the Shadow Minister for Home Affairs, the Labor Shadow Minister for Home Affairs this evening make what is a very important announcement, and that is a Labor government, an Anthony Albanese Labor government, will abolish temporary protection visas and will move to establish pathways to permanent residency for the so many people who are here in this country at the moment on SHEV and TPVs. Many of those people are in this room this evening. A large number of them are from Iran. I know them personally. I have met many of them over the years. Atina, that wonderful young woman, is in my electorate. I have spoken about her in Parliament. I have a great admiration, firstly for the Iranian people, because every Iranian that I have met in this country has been successful, educated, enterprising. They have the qualities that my own community, the Greek community, and many other migrant communities have. The desire to become permanent residents, to live in this country, to become Australian, and I know you're getting moved.
Thank you.
But I'm just as passionate because I came here as a child, 4 years of age as well. So for me, this is a very personal crusade to ensure that in this country we do not have two classes of people. We have people who have the opportunity to become Australians, just like my family did, and that is what we fight for. This is what I fight for. This evening, you heard it from our Shadow Minister, you've heard it from the member for Wills, Peter Khalil, you're hearing it from me, you will hear it from every Labor politician. In the tradition of great Labor governments, we will make sure that nation building in this country continues. It continues in a way that gives people equal opportunity, and I look forward to the many Iranians who are here tonight to becoming permanent residents and to becoming Australian citizens.
As an asylum seeker, these words really touched me because, as I said in my speech, I haven't seen my only child for 10 years.
I'm aware.
People like Atina, they came here in age of 13. They are not 24 years. It's still unclear situation. Thank you so much.
I mean, it's absolutely inhumane that you should be standing here this evening, not being able to have been separated from your family, to become virtually someone who's guilty of what? Of looking for refugee protection and asylum. We live in a world where we have to be able to protect each other and support each other. And this country has done a very good job over the years, 20, 50, 60, 70 years of settling refugees as well. We are a place where the first refugees from survivors from the Holocaust, the 300 Jewish families came to this country. And we have a tradition and we have principles and values that require us as people who are living here, fortunate people, to extend our hand to those who need our support, who need our security, and who need our protection.
Thank you. I apologize I couldn't control myself. Thank you. Thank you so much. بفرمایید آقای.